Nice to meet you.
Hi, Peter, how are you?
I'm doing so well. Nice to see you after a long time.
I know. Thank you very much for, accepting to talk to me and see me and chat with me today.
It's my great pleasure to speak with another inspiration person like you who does amazing job in transforming and saving many lives of people.
Thank you, Peter. Likewise. So
Okay.
I just feel that I feel so privileged to to have met you. And I went through some of my pictures, and I think the very first time maybe I have met you was in 2018 in December.
Oh,
Have a nice
yeah.
picture together. And
Yeah.
I just remember then again when we talked about how we could work together to help the cause that you are trying to fight in Uganda and in
Yeah.
Africa and around the world. And before we go into it, I just wanted to say that when the last time, not the last time, there is a time that you came to visit me in my office in Jinja, and it was during COVID. I don't know if you
Yeah.
remember it.
I
And
do remember every time we met.
and I remember that you saw something that I posted on Facebook and you thought you needed to come and cheer me up. And I
Yeah.
know that you had this mask on and you said to me, you asked me politely if you could take it off. That is so important to see someone smile, that it makes a
Exactly.
difference. And such things I love. That's the kind of human you are in you. And I love how much you advocate for the human rights and for not only people living in albinism, but also inspiring you are when you are talking to someone like me. And I've always told you, Peter, you got to come and talk about life with my people at Whisper, at least, because everything that you say has such an amazing weight of value. And I believe, and that's the feeling you left me with about you. And
Oh,
that's
thank
why
you. I'm so humbled.
I'd love you to tell me everything. I have a picture behind me here. Like, I don't know how many countries are there in Manchester.
I'm still very, and I was surprised, and I was like, "Oh, is it me or somebody else?" I thought that it was my video already there. So thank you for thinking about those pictures.
Darling, so tell me how you were growing up as a child, how you came up with SNUPA. It is the source of the Nile for people living with albinism, and
Mhm.
how everything that you've done. And I know you wrote a book as well, and I need my people to hear all about you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so humbled to be speaking to you all, dear audience, and I'm so humbled to be hosted by my friend Veronica. I'm really so privileged, and I always want to associate with people who make a difference into the world because that's what I realized. This world is so heartless, lots of things that goes on, but there's some few who minds about other. There's some few who thinks that no one should be treated badly, no one should be, hurted. So that's why I found that much common with you and with amazing work that you were doing the whispers. So it inspired me so a lot to be your friend. Well, my story, the little bit pain in it, but also happiness because my brokenness, my pain that I went through is what I think helped me to be what I am today and even be able to stand or to speak to you right now. As I was born, I was the first person to be born with the condition called albinism in my community, even when it was not well known to the community. It came with a lot of reaction from the community members. Many thought that I was a curse. Many thought that maybe my parent associated with witchcraft. Many thought that maybe God was punishing our parent. But now the world started changing. all the world started changing against them after some few adults within the community realizing that I'm not a normal child according to their understanding. I'm something, I'm a curse. The rumors started moving around the village that there is something, there is a curse in that family. My dad, yes, was a business person. By then he was so much loved and he had many colleagues whom he used to work with. When they started hearing these stories, everyone started stopping coming at home. Even those who used to come and drink a cup of water, they stopped because they had there is something that is not right in that family. Those who pretended to love so much my dad advised him to chase away my mother because they thought that she was the cause of that evil within that community or within his family. But he told them, this is our child and that is a gift from God. I love my wife and I'm not going to send them away. But I thank God that my family was brave enough and they continue to love me just like another child. As a baby, nothing I knew. Sometimes when I think of the pain, that's, of course, I know Dad went through a lot as a man, but Mom went through a lot more.
You told me about it, and it was so touching to me, and everything that you decided, like a young man thinking, no, I'm going to prove my mom that hasn't given birth to curse, but she has given a birth to a legend, to a hero that is going to make a change.
Exactly. So Mom was a really tough time to her, and at times she thought that maybe the husband is just pretending that she loves her because it was new to her herself. She had never seen a child with albinism, and Dad as well has never seen a child with albinism. So he thought that maybe the husband is just pretending that he loves me, but maybe hates me for giving birth to this kind of a child.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever he went to market, it was horrible for her. And whenever she visited even her own place, I start facing the real meaning of albinism as a person when I started joining the school. Parents before that, when they, of course, like another child, they thought that, yeah, I needed to go to school. So many turned them down. Please, don't take things like that to school. Even when you go to school, nothing he will achieve in this world. Those things don't even die, they just disappear. Oh, this was really heartbreaking words. I can't explain where my parents got the braveness not to listen to what they were telling them, but they proceeded and take me to school. In fact, they tell me that, our son, we can't even tell you some other words because you may end up hating each and every one. The people you see smiling with you, these are the people who used to call you a curse. And now they're smiling,
yes,
showing that they love you most.
Yeah.
So they never told me because they said, for the peace, we thank God for what you are. Person with albinism, we are born with our eyes because we lack melanin. That means even we can't see very far. We are short-sighted. Of course, the level vary from one to another. And the teachers never knew that. Instead, when I was in the class, they placed me behind and they couldn't see on the chalkboard. And whenever I tried to come on board, for example, when he had gone out, he has left the assignment, whenever I tried to go in front, the children would scream at me and scream and say, please get away, take away your skeleton, and many other mocking words. So whenever teacher came, I didn't have what to show up. The teacher took that as me being stubborn, not wanting to do the assignments and what. And of course, that was a punishment by Keynes. So there was a time when I reached, children also want to pinch me to find out. It was fun for them to see a white person, want to find out whether I cry, whether I do what, whether I'm normal like anyone else. They would tell me that things like you don't die, because those are the words they used to hear from the parents. And when the children used to cry, they would say, "We'll bring that thing, we'll eat you." So I became like a scarecrow. It was horrible for me. But I grew up when my heart is so much torn. One day, teacher wrote assignment on the chalkboard, and I failed to do the work because of my short-sightedness. I was in the back of the class. Remember, no any other child allowed to sit close to me so that maybe I may see, maybe closer. So I failed to do the work, and teacher wanted to cane me. But for me, I felt that enough is enough. And I said, "Please, I'm not going to lie down because I told you I can't see things at the back when I'm viewing it from the back." They said, "You stubborn, go away," and started chasing with a cane. And I ran back to home. And I told Dad, when I reached home, I told Dad, I'm done with studies. I don't want that anything. It's another. Let me say, I'm treated like an outcast. I think I'm not human. And at times I had those kind of questions. But am I human? These are the words which I hear from people. Remember, I'm 7 years. That's when I'm finding those cruel words. The world is treating me in that same thing. But thanks God, by that, I'm not sharing this story just to make you so much emotion down, but to let you know that all that what we went through is what built us what we are today. That's just to let you know that, yeah, if anyone's still going through that situation, it's not the end of it. At the end of it, you'll overcome. And if you are the kind of the person mistreating people, you never know their tomorrow. So be supportive enough. So my my dad went to school and I explained to them and asked them to place me in front. And I started being given that priority in class and started, performing so better. Remember at school, when you're one of the smartest, of course, everyone will want you, will want to come. And many children now, because now among the best students in class, my performance was among at least the first 3 people I was among them. So, of course, they came for the answer, and you can't come to me if you're not my friend. So that was the condition. You become my friend or no, and you fail the exercise. So I started winning some friends. Of course, they came slowly but slowly with that hesitance, because the parent told them, when sit close to him, you'll become like him. When you touch him, you'll also become like him. So of course they came with that fear. But those who were brave enough, when they sat with me, nothing was happening to them, and they started now to become my ambassadors. I sat with Peter. In fact, he's the one who even helped me to do this work well. So now they're starting to demystify what the parent had told them. And that's now where I started to know that, I can also be accepted by a few. It gave me some braveness and continuing to start to love who I am in my uniqueness. But still there is that low self-esteem because I've never got that scientific explanation of why am I like this and my parents not like me. Yeah. Of course, my parents would tell me that you're a gift from God, but they couldn't explain to me. I don't know, because I was so young, but they couldn't explain to me. So sometimes I would find myself sitting in the corner, wondering, is it today I'm going to disappear? Because people say, we don't die, we just disappear. Psychologically, it tortured me so much. I went through depression and yes, we know we all go through depression. People go through stress and what, but for a young child, it's so hard because he cannot even explain the feeling so well to anyone, to an adult. An adult, when you go through any situation, you can tell, that, you can share, you can find a friend whom you can trust maybe. So now, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm going through. But for a child, it's so hard. Yes, I've been started now being accepted by few, but I was not allowed so much involved in the games and other kinds of activities at school because, they thought that I wasn't that human enough to be also exercising those kinds of work. So one day, I was watching children playing football and I wanted to join them just like another child. And the children screamed and said, "Please go away," and even ran to report their mother. see, Peter, he told me that person want to join us, and the mother screamed, "Take away your albinism. Do you want to spread it to my children?" And it was so hurting. It was so hurting because I was blamed for what I didn't intend. Even I didn't know how it came about. So I felt like, being blamed for what you have no control over. It's so hard.
Exactly.
More so when you're a child and you don't have. So I was emotionally so much down. And when I was sitting aside watching them playing, came a man of God who was a pastor, and he told him, "Peter, why are you sitting alone?" And then, of course, I told him that I'm not allowed to fit in because that I'm not human enough to be with them. And this man came, "No, Peter, you are created in God's image. He knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb." Wow, these words went deeper. He went ahead and grabbed my hand and walked with him. He took me walking around. He showed me the first love, the real, like, I felt like the genuine love connecting into my heart. The first person, apart from my family members, to love me. And he told me, "Please," because it was a Saturday, said, "Please come even to the church and we pray together." Oh, I never knew that through this person, God was going to build my confidence and to know who I was truly, because I was being taken, or I used to take the definition of what people used to take who I am, not what people think I am. I am who I am, and God knows who I am. And he created me for a purpose, and He has to help me to fulfill that purpose in me. So when I started going to school, I started going to church, I got a lot more of encouragement, and this pastor continued to love me. I joined the Sunday school, and with the time, I started getting that much confidence. In fact, with more time, I started becoming assistant Sunday school teacher. I would be like one of the directors, and this built my confidence. I started, but in me, I felt so bad when never seeing anyone being mistreated in any way. Of course, I was the first person with albinism, but I hated to see anyone, regardless of who they are. But I didn't want to see anyone sad.
They say, Peter, that when you fight for yourself, you will fight for others. And that's when it comes to what you just saying, that you wouldn't want to see anybody being mistreated. It is not about the color of your skin or how different you are.
Exactly. Because I knew what it meant to be mistreated, to be misunderstood, to be excluded. I felt it, and so that's why I never wanted. And when I was at school, yes, I've been started now getting some favor, and of course, I used even to share my small biscuits, small pancakes, which were given to my parents for a break. I would give those few my friends. Of course, I would share even to those who were not my friends. I just loved, because it was in me. I loved sharing, I loved giving out the little that I had. And sometimes I would offer even all what I have, just because I want to see somebody smiling, because I know that smile is a medicine. Smile is, even when you go through a street, you're in the street, and you smile to somebody, that somebody will smile back to you. And that smile it's a therapy. And that's when I never knew that God is starting to prepare me to become a leader. So when I became a leader, in fact, I thank God that in my start of leadership, students became so disciplined, even to teachers, even to the fellow, because I can't say that I was so much harsh on them, but I was fighting them with love. In fact, I started becoming leader in primary 4 in my school, and I finished, I completed my primary 7 as a leader still. And nevertheless, even when I went to the college, when I went to high school, when I went to university, I was a leader. And to get a story short, I started becoming a leader, and I started seeing that I don't want to see anyone being misused. And that's when I start getting that idea of becoming an advocate. My follower don't have albinism. Then the second follower again, the second follower has no, then the third one. The last one, again, who had albinism. And when she was born, I was so happy for my siblings, but I was extremely happy for this another sibling who had albinism. It gave me even more braveness to fight because she was a girl. I didn't want to let her see what I went through or go through what I want. So it gave me more inspiration to keep doing whatever I was doing and pushing on. But another side, economically, we were not doing so well. We had to struggle a lot to get the school fees. Since we were in an island, I went into fishing, but the fishing wasn't also favoring me because of the harsh sun, the lot of sunburning, and we didn't have the sun lotion. And yet, as a person with albinism, I don't have melanin, which would protect the sun from burning me. But I always wanted to keep my dream alive. I said, I want to study and become an advocate. I want to study and become a voice to the voiceless. I know you cannot be a voice if you are not somewhere. So I thought that maybe through studies, that's when I can prove people wrong, even those ones who never wanted me to go to school. In fact, yes, I started not to get a job, but I studied that I may make and help more other people who are much vulnerable to get a job. Because of course, that's what I grew up knowing, that people like me don't get jobs. So maybe I will become a voice to people maybe like me to get a job. So I tried to look for jobs in Jinja town. But I want to let you know that no one wanted to associate with me. Somebody told me that people like you will scare my customers. Well, by then I got used of this kind of work because, of course, was something that still I would expect from anyone else. Most of these are in my book, which is called In the Face of It All, whereby I shared a lot of stories, my inspiration, but also what I've learned in life in my young age. Really, what I want people to know that that's not the end of it. Always there is that's only help you to prepare for what you're going to be ahead. It's prepare you for being a very strong person. It's prepare you to become the version that you need to be. When I got to university, I saw and found many other persons with albinism. I got some of the stories which really turned my heart. I was lucky enough that my parents loved me, but are those ones whose parents even never took them to school. That those ones who even never, whenever visitors visited them, they never allowed them to appear to them. That those ones whom I found out that they were not sleeping in the houses just like any other siblings, and they were just being kept in kennels, the houses for dogs. I know other parts of the country, other parts of the world, pets are well treated so well. But those ones who have been in Africa, they know where dogs are not treated as pets by other people. They're treated as a protection tool. We found some other persons with albinism were treated like that. And this really turned my heart. So what can we do about it? Because lamentation is not all lamenting is not all that what will help us. We need to do something about this. And with time, that's when I, with my colleagues, we started forming the SNUPA, Source of the Nile Union of Persons with Albinism. And that was in 2012, with a great support from amazing lady called Fazira Kauma, who's now the deputy mayor, Jinja City.
Wow.
She was
Thank you.
Yeah, she was by then the vice chairperson of the Council for Disability, and with high influence, she really helped us a lot. But now the question was, what are we going to do? So we had to come up with a very good specific objective of the organization. One is to create awareness, people to know that we are human enough. We are not witchcraft. We don't have any magic. We are just like any other child. Secondly, was to improve on the lives of people with albinism, health-wise, more so, because as we are born with melanin, without melanin, that means our skin are so much vulnerable to the skin cancer. By the way, when even try to Google, about majority of people to 98% die skin cancer if not treated, or if they're not protected so well from the sun. And one of the objectives to see many Peters. And right now, as I see, yes, the dream is coming to pass. It's not only me now, but there are other Peters who are coming on board, who are bold enough to speak out for their voice. Mm-hmm. So when we started all this, yes, these were on papers, and we were asking, how do we implement this? If we are to protect the sunscreen, if we are to protect skin cancer, where are we getting the sunscreen lotion? It was very hard. I didn't have funding for that. So the only way was like I would walk throughout all the hotels in Jinja, where I thought that maybe there's some Europeans and Americans who use the sunscreen lotions can leave the leftover, and that's what I can take to my people. I didn't have funding for that. And sunscreen lotions are not in open market. If you found, it's very expensive.
It's nowhere to be found in Africa generally. I've traveled, and you can't find them anywhere. I know.
You can't find them. Yeah. So I started a task which was so hard on me, but I was so much determined by the pain that I went through, but also by the pain of the colleagues, by the pains of those whom I was seeing dying in my hands to skin cancer. So I said, I'll try to do all that what I can to make sure that we save the lives of people with albinism from skin cancer. So I started like that, going to hotels, getting those leftovers and whatever I get, keep giving on, trying to sell the vision to other people, not knowing that there's something big coming. So with time, the organization started growing, and we started getting some funding, and now we started implementing some of more other projects, like in education. Right now, we are continuing to support hundreds of children with glasses, reading glasses and sunglasses, long uniforms. And as I speak now, we have over 7 doctors with albinism in the country other than school.
I know.
Have now, we have lawyers with albinism as I speak now. We have engineers, we have social workers, we have different professions who have studied and yet they have albinism. And now that was the dream. And for me, it gives me peace. It gives me courage and hope that one day we'll have that world where a person with albinism will be just treated like anyone else.
You were telling me about how after going around and trying to get, it's so amazing to hear these sunscreen in hotels, the leftovers. And by the way, this is how I got to know you, because I know that you were trying to get these sunscreens. And I thought, wow, like you can do so little, like even, give people the hats that you are wearing, and that's how I got to know you through these sunscreens. And now you are telling me that ever since, your organization started to grow and everybody got to know about what you're doing. And so tell me how, when it was growing, how it went into those measures for you to travel the world and meet all these amazing people, and whatever started in Jinja in those hotels with leftovers, how did it end in all these United Nations meetings that you've been to and meeting? I know you've met some amazing people. That's what I would need to hear about it right now.
Oh, thank you so much for that wonderful questions. Sometimes this is the fact, when you keep doing the great work, there are those ones who keep watching you and following whatever you do. And in a way that even we may not understand, we may be inspiring other people.
Yeah.
And through that, how you can get connected to other people. There are some few individuals who are so much inspired by my work. And through that, they say, really, we don't have much that we can give you, but I think that people who can help you to do this. And through that, we are connected to other organizations like Advantage Africa, through which together we were able to contact some companies. Of course, we've tried very many companies in different parts of the world, but we are lucky that we got one of the companies called Ultrasun in the UK.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we'll be supplying you the sunscreen lotion so that you don't use again the leftovers. And we're so happy that it's now, we're serving over 2,000 persons with albinism.
That is amazing.
And in all our doing things, yeah. So even when many people used to see me as a traveler, but sometimes not specifically because of SNUPA, but I just make sure that wherever I went, I tell them about SNUPA, which sometimes create more other opportunities. There are many, quite many countries that have traveled.
It's hard to get you, Peter. You are always somewhere.
I was so lucky that I got very many opportunity to travel along the world, throughout the world. Got opportunity to stay in the United States and also to work there and to study there also. But also I got also opportunity to be invited by United Nations for more so the National Council for Human Rights and speaking about advocacy issues. But the most important thing is to help on how better they can create a very inclusive policies that would help people with albinism to feel safe and protected, but also to put different government accountable.
One thing I want you to mention, I remember throughout all these opportunities, you traveling to United States and, you know, to all over the Europe, you also told me somebody offered you a job and life out of Uganda, out of Africa. I don't remember exactly which country now, but you said, no, I don't want to. My place is in Uganda. I have to stay in Uganda. I have to fight for my people. Tell me about that.
Truly, I've got very many opportunity in the US, even in Canada, but even other country offered me citizenship. They said that we can help you to get citizenship.
You said that you got offered a citizenship. In which country?
Yes, I was offered even a citizenship. That some people were helping me to offer me a citizenship in. I think I may not. I mentioned the country because I don't know the implications that may come with it. But I turned down the opportunity, being that I feel that being white doesn't reduce my Africanity or being black enough. I need to be in these people. That's when they will continue to know that I'm their true son, even when I'm in another color, but I'm their true son, and I need to be here. And then this is beyond Peter as a person. Yes, just imagine I'm in my life in, for example, Canada and maybe Switzerland, and who will be speaking for these other people? And yet those are my happiness to see them smiling. And those are the reasons which, in fact, I get sometimes a sleepless night. Just continue to think, what can I do and how can I do to make sure that people with albinism, they feel safe, but also the community embrace and accept them just like anyone else. And it reminds me that I still have more work to do. And the winners never quit. By running out of the country is not the solution. The solution is to change their perception. And changing our perception doesn't come on one day. We keep fighting. And that's the reason I'm still here. And I'll continue to be a Ugandan and fighting for the rights of those with albinism, but even those who are marginalized in other ways. This is now what the life has taught me. I've cried. I've been heartbroken many times. They've told me many words that I can't even maybe sometimes say. But yes, it's human to cry. It's human to feel like you're down. But again, it's so wise to be strong enough to stand. Because
I'm sorry, do you ever sit down and think about how many people, like I can't even imagine how many people your advocacy and your story get inspired by it. I remember I know there are so many people who have good stories, especially during the pandemic. And I know that your organization has helped to make this beautiful Ugandan movie that I I was so lucky to see in the cinema about how people and a family with albinism would go through during the lockdown. I mean, it has been heartbreaking for so many people in Uganda and in Africa and in around the world too. I mean, there are so many things that you have done throughout your advocacy. I don't know if you can just tell me, like, not one by one, but tell me those that had the most significant impact even on you, that you kept thinking, my goodness me, like that's God, that's God working through me. Keep giving me all this strength to realize how many people I can pass on the message of love, because it's all about love.
Exactly. That's very important. To be honest, yeah, I was in London, and this somebody texted me from New York. Texted me, Peter, you don't know how much inspires me. I can't go a day checking your Facebook and checking all your social media to make sure that I get at least one or two words that inspires me and pushes on my day. Then I was like, what? I never thought of this, because sometimes I just post, maybe I don't know whether it makes sense or what, but I post my heart. I never knew that these kind of things inspires anyone. Anyway, for me, I think that I'm doing my thing. Every day, I get messages of being helped in a way that even I didn't know. Being strong doesn't mean that you don't go through a lot. As a person, just as I said that, sometimes I turn down, I'm down, you see? And now the issue is, how do you handle yourself when you're down? But whenever I think about where I'm from and where I am and where I'm going, it gives me much courage. It's that's the way I feel, even when I inspire others, but I feel sometimes I inspire myself.
Feel that when sometimes you feel down, or somebody, as you said, life is not always all that success. You don't always feel like, oh, everything is great. I know that even you, that is a lot of bad. You said it at the beginning of this video, that we live in a very hateful world, and it's very easy to get to lose who you really are. Like, you can lose yourself so easily.
Easily, yeah.
And that's why it's very important that you're going back to your roots, so to get reminded. Maybe that's not the real world that we should live in. Maybe that's not the real thing that we should, maybe that's not what, you get a lot of doubts. This is who you are. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Don't let anyone tell you that this is you are, because I know you fake, you maybe, there is a lot of negative words that people, I believe, still say, oh, this Peter. That's why, this video that we are doing together, it's going to always be a reminder of the kind of people that are out there. I know no matter what, you always can listen to yourself, hear yourself, and remember that that's the right thing, that you always follow your heart.
Yeah, that's so important. And please, what I encourage people, always don't allow your environment to define you. You're somebody who's so different. Just imagine if I had agreed or allowed the environment of Kisma, where I was born, to define who I was, to let me think that I'm not human, to let me think that I cannot add up. I think many people whom we're serving today, they would have never got that opportunity to see me. Maybe even you would have not got opportunity to know who I was. But because I never allowed that, that's why I'm speaking to you. Because I never allowed that, that's why we are serving community, not only now Uganda. So there is that silence, there is that calmness in that storm. And that's why I get the braveness to share my story, how I was. I don't feel that pain, but that was the pain. And right now I'm sitting to tell you what I went through. And I never allowed all those kind of situations to take me up. And another thing that I want our listeners to understand is, you need to love yourself. I'd come to love myself. And loving yourself is so hard when maybe there are very many circumstances into your life. And once you love yourself, that love will be spread to others. And that's the uniqueness. And that's why you see me smiling every time, because that's the secret that I got into this life. Once you carry hate in you, because sometimes when I think of other things, when the person who wanted even gave my uncle money to come and kill me and take, because my uncle was so brave enough and never allowed this. Good enough, this person ran away, but he was supposed to be imprisoned. Because he had this target that when he get anybody parts or person with albinism, he will get rich faster. So he went through my uncle, thinking that my uncle was so cheap for money to sell his son. Thank to God that this never happened. Then another last thing, maybe, one important thing. Yes, is to keep dreaming. Dreaming doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be with things around you. That whatever you have, I want to tell you that I had that dream when I was at Kisma, a young child, that I want to become a voice of voiceless. We didn't have a car. We didn't have even a bicycle. We were living in grass hatched house, Samadhi house. But that didn't limit me to have that dream. The difference is we need to know that we have a dream killers and those ones who can support our dreams. I had to study. I had to go through all what it took me to be now. So those ones who see me now on BBC or Al Jazeera or in our national television, they don't know how far we've come from, but it was because we believed in the dream. One thing about dream, yes, when you have a vision, when you have a dream, even when you don't have money, you don't have what, among 10 people, there'll be that one person who will stick with you and support your dream come into reality. And that was it, what we do and what we want. Right now, I'm happy that we are supporting over 2,000 persons with albinism. I've just got text today because I'm not around. I'm not around in my town at SNUPA office, but we've just operated 3 people with albinism, and these people had lost hope. Their family had given up on them. We're already preparing them for palliative care. But as I speak now, their hope had been renewed.
Absolutely. Peter, thank you.
Right. So that's exactly, we need people not to give up, people to believe in themselves. If you believe in yourself, people around you will believe in you. But if you don't believe in yourself, no one will believe in you. So that's the magic behind it.
Exactly. Peter, I feel so blessed to speak to you. You are someone I just needed to really, everything you said is just something I needed to hear. It's really, you reminded me, and I reminded myself talking about it, how important it is to stay focused on who you are. And as you said, on your dreams, and not let the environment define you and define your future. It's very important. You are like, yeah, you are dream come true also to so many people right now. I also follow your social media. I am blown away, and I'm so happy that that you have been getting opportunities all along, all the time, because more opportunities somebody like you get, more people around the world have chance to experience the hope that they could already lose. And that's why it's so important for people to come together and spread the awareness and talk about the people, because someone like you who have everything that you've said, and I know there are so many things you haven't said to me, who have been experienced so much pain. I don't think you will ever take anything for granted. I know you will never, and I cannot wait for you to see what you are going to do in the future. I love when every time when you share pictures and videos from your travels. I'm like, yeah, Peter's done it again. Uganda is on the scene. And we can really, it's important that we see.
Yes, by the way, and by the way, thank you so much for giving them medical insurance for my staffs and also the members of SNUPA in that related support that you give them. Because right now, yeah, we don't get that challenge that maybe staff has not come to work because of ABCD, or maybe we've got this challenge. So it also gave me a peace of mind. So we thank you so much. We thank Whispers for this amazing support that you give to our staff, and we don't take it for granted. So thank you so much. It inspires me a lot also.
You're welcome. It is the least we could do, and it's amazing. Like, we all can do something to make other people even greater in what they do, you know. So for now, we only have a few minutes. Tell me, if somebody wants to support you, what do you need right now? Like, what is something that everybody can, even in Jinja, what is something that people can do to help you and to help people with albinism?
Well, first of all, one of the thing I think I will start with one of the things that we need is love. Is all that we need. If somebody is so lovely, that genuine love, I think it's the medicine and it's a source of everything. Once you love, that's when you'll be able even to donate. But if you hate, you can't donate. So the most important thing is love. Please love people with albinism. They are people like anyone else. Albinism is not a contagious, it's a genetical inherited condition. Hugging you cannot make you to be with albinism. Albinism only and only maybe if I have a wife with albinism, that's when it can come. But there are lots of misperception attached to that. So we need love, we need more support to create awareness. You who've heard this video, please spread awareness about albinism. We need more funding to support our skin cancer patients, because skin cancer is one of our battles. So if you have any kind of support, please toward that. You can send a heart. You can give, you can donate in kind like hearts, some lotions, some clothing, more so those in deep villages, they need these clothes. When we have project to support the children to go to school, for example, we have those children who pays like 50,000 per term. If you're there, who can stand with a one child with albinism to go to school so that we can get many Peters, we can really appreciate. So we need those kind of support. We need a support of different kind of projects. You can go to website and get our different projects, and please, you can donate to us and over different kind of project in education, economic empowerment, cancer prevention. My Facebook page is Ogik Peter, Twitter at Ogik Peter, Instagram, I use all my names, and our physical offices are at Eagle Plaza on Main Street, and my cell phone is it's a 07 plus 256 77910 13. Those are my WhatsApp, and sometimes I'm in different countries, so I would prefer WhatsApp. That would be so easier to contact us. And if you want to learn more about albinism or about our work, please contact us. Go to our website, go to my Facebook. You can visit our physical offices at Eagle Plaza and know more about our work.
Thank you so much, Peter, about all the information. I'm going to attach the links and everything onto the video. I'm also going to use some of your pictures just to put in between our conversation. And I hope that one day we're going to see each other soon again. Thank you very much for this amazing talk that I had with you. And as again, I share with me any updates, any news, share videos, share pictures, so I also can be sharing them myself. And of course, Whisper is always there for you and for your community. I always get joy when they tell me there is somebody from SNUPA coming to Whispers. So please, you are all welcome. Your children and your staff members, you know it. Everyone is welcome to Whispers for free treatment. So please don't hesitate.
Thank you so much.
I hope you have an amazing day. Successful day.
And you too. Yeah, thank you so much. And have a lovely day too. I know all will be well.
Thank you. Bye for now, Peter. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you for your time.